Hello and welcome. I'm Annie and today we will be making mouth-watering cabbage rolls. Stick around to the end to see how we can convert leftover stuffing and leaves into a cabbage roll casserole. For this recipe, you'll need 2 medium cabbages, 6 cups of cooked long grain rice, 2 pounds of ground beef, 2 medium carrots grated, 8 medium mushrooms chopped, 1 medium onion diced, 2 cloves of garlic minced, 2 eggs, 1 tablespoon of butter, 3 cups of strained tomatoes, 2 tablespoons of dry parsley flakes, 3½ tablespoons of salt divided, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 3 cups of water, and another large pot of water. Using a sharp knife, you'll want to cut out the core of the cabbage. Make sure you go at a slight angle and go nice and deep to ensure that you cut out the core in full. This will help the leaves come off the cabbage easier. I've just got a little bit left in there. Perfect. There you go. To your large pot of water, you'll want to add 2 tablespoons of salt. Now bring the pot of water to a boil. Once your water is boiling, just put your cabbage, 1 head of cabbage in gently. Cover and let this simmer for 10 minutes. Once the 10 minutes have elapsed, you'll want to gently pull the leaves off the cabbage and set them into a pan or a bowl. If you're noticing that the leaves are a little bit firmer, simply just leave the head of cabbage in the water for a few minutes and then try pulling the leaves off again. Repeat the process with the second head. Heat a cast iron skillet or saute pan over medium heat. I use a 10-inch Lagostina cast iron pan and absolutely love it. It's the perfect size, it's oven safe, and this extra grip handle on the front of the pan is really helpful when you're moving it from your stove to your oven. I'll link below if you're interested in grabbing one for yourself. So add the ground beef to your pan. And you just want to cook it all the way through. Once the beef is browned, just put it into a bowl and set it aside to cool. To the same cast iron skillet, add 1 tablespoon of butter. And once it's melted, add your onions, garlic, carrots, and mushrooms. Sauté these until the carrots and mushrooms have softened. Once your vegetables have softened, turn off the heat and set these aside to cool slightly. To make your filling, put your rice into a large bowl, your ground beef, the sauteed vegetables, two eggs, 1 tablespoon salt, your teaspoon of pepper, and the parsley flakes. Now, using either a spoon, like a wooden spoon, or your hands, you can just mix this all up. Now that your filling is thoroughly mixed, you're ready to roll your cabbage rolls. Before you roll your cabbage rolls, you'll want to prepare your Dutch oven so that you can simply set them into the Dutch oven as soon as they're rolled. So how I do this is I take the leftover heads of cabbage that are too small to do anything with, and I slice them into like 1/2 inch thick slices. And then you just line the bottom of the pot with these slices. What this does, it prevents the cabbage rolls from sticking to the bottom of the pan as they bake. The Dutch oven that I use is from KitchenAid, and it's an enameled cast iron 3.5 quart Dutch oven. So this one actually has a silicone handle on top, so it is completely oven proof, so you never have to worry about sticking it straight into the oven to cook your dishes. I've had mine for many years and use it several times each week, so it's so versatile for a variety of dishes. Unfortunately, they are currently unavailable, but I will link something similar in the description below. There are 2 different sizes of cabbage leaves, the larger outer leaves and the smaller inner leaves. So for the smaller leaves, you see the spine? We just want to shave it down using a sharp knife so that it's quite thin. Okay. Then what you do is you lay it out in your hand, scoop a heaping tablespoon of filling, put it into the center, maybe even a little bit more. The amount of filling really depends on the size of your leaf. And simply roll the leaf, tucking the ends in, roll it up, and tuck in the ends. And your cabbage roll is complete. Simply place it in the pan. For the larger leaves, you'll actually want to cut out the spine. So just lay it out on a cutting board, and you're going to cut the leaf in half, going down one side of the spine. And then you cut the spine from the other side. Discard this portion. And now you're left with a half leaf. Again, fill it with however much amount of stuffing is reasonable. And tucking the ends in, roll it up nice and snug, and tuck in those ends. Place it in your pan and continue until you've run out of filling or cabbage leaves. To make a cabbage roll casserole with leftover leaves and stuffing, or if you're just too tired or just wanting a simple cabbage roll dish, you can simply convert this into a casserole by doing the following. So you're just going to take your leftover leaves, again, cut out the spines, but this doesn't need to be very precise. So just go along, take a few leaves, and cut away the spines. You'll want approximately equal parts cabbage leaves to stuffing. Once you've got enough leaves, cut them lengthwise so you have narrow strips about 1/2 inch to 1 inch wide. And chop this up. Now, just put this into your bowl where the stuffing is and mix it up. Once you're done mixing it, just dump it into either a Dutch oven or just a baking pan. I prefer to use a glass baking pan if I'm using one for this casserole, just because I find that it bakes up nicer in it. Don't pack this down because we're going to be topping it with some liquid in a little bit. To make the cooking liquid, you'll want to take your 3 cups of water and pour it into a bowl. Add your strained tomatoes. Okay, and stir this up. Since I've split mine between cabbage rolls and a casserole, I'm just going to pour over approximately equal parts over each. You'll want to pour in enough so that the cabbage rolls can cook in this almost to the top. Cover these with our lids and bake in a preheated 350-degree oven for about 1 hour. These are all done now. Once your cabbage rolls and your casserole are fully cooked, you can serve them right out of the Dutch oven with a dollop of sour cream or a smear of mustard. To freeze the cabbage rolls, allow them to cool to room temperature or cooler, then arrange them in a freezer-safe, resealable bag or container in a single layer. Seal the bags, getting as much of the air out of there as you can, and freeze them. If you prefer to use a vacuum sealer for long-term storage, you'll want to freeze the cabbage rolls before vacuum packing. You can do this by arranging the cabbage rolls on a greased cookie sheet to prevent them from sticking. Fully freeze the cabbage rolls, and then once frozen, place the cabbage rolls into vacuum packed bags, again in a single layer, vacuum seal them, and put them back in the freezer for storage. To reheat the cabbage rolls, thaw them completely in the refrigerator, and then in a preheated pan, add 1 tablespoon of butter or oil and saute them at a medium heat, turning often until they are fully cooked through. It has been a pleasure cooking with you today. Please let me know in the comments below how your dish turned out and if you have any questions at all. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to click the thumbs up button and consider subscribing to get notifications of future videos. Enjoy your day, and I will see you next time.